Oh boy, okay. It's take two. Which, to be fair, the original video I shot, I was trying to combine this Camp ReadMore idea and a book haul that I thought was little. And it would have been, except that I had this box and a big box down here come in just hours after I gave up on that video. So, I don't know. We shall see. But here's the deal. Okay, this shirt, my daughter drew this cute little girl. I don't know if it shows. I feel like I'm making things look really awkward. We're just going to go with that. I'll put in the thing. But I had to make it into a t-shirt because I love Sticker Meals t-shirts. They're super soft and comfy. And I wanted a t-shirt for this because, okay, so Lorna made this thing. Here's the deal. Way back, long time ago, number 3 daughter was a photographer, and she took Lorna out for, it was 6th, 7th, 8th, maybe 9th birthday, somewhere in there. And we built this like tent frame and put fabric over it. And she took some stunning pictures. I was going to drag them out so that I could show you, and I didn't do it before my husband went to bed. So that's not going to happen. Oh, well, nothing I can do about that. But I told Lord, I was like, we need that, but with a book instead of the tent. And the dogs are just determined to shake this all over the place. Anyway, and so instead of an actual tent, we want a book, right? And I think she's even going to do another version that isn't framed and has like mason jars hanging from the tree with little fireflies to be the twinkle lights. I think that'd be cute. So I think she's planning on doing that. We'll see. But I ordered stickers and they're in her room. Mine arrived tomorrow, or I guess in a few hours. But I was like, okay, so way back in the day, Pizza Hut had the Book It program where you could read a certain number of books and earn pizza, right? Never really appealed to me. If they had given me breadsticks instead of pizza, I'd have been all for it. But that just didn't appeal to me. And I don't think it was a thing when I was a kid. I think it came right when my kids were starting to read, which was just a few years after I graduated from high school. Yeah. But stickers, I collected stickers as a kid. I absolutely would have done stickers and worked red hard for stickers. It's kind of silly because I would be reading hard anyway, but I would have loved the reward of those stickers. And so I was like, I want to revisit that because August, for our family, August was camp month. Now, we went camping all the time on the one hand, but on the other hand, there was something about August. I think my dad got this idea that, school's going back. We got to do this now or else. So he would take us. Now, when we already lived in the desert, this didn't happen. He never took us camping anywhere but the desert. That's my dad's favorite place in the entire world. I mean, so I'm an hour from Furnace Creek, Death Valley. His job at Furnace Creek was his favorite job. He loved that job so much. What he didn't like about it is that they limited how much time he was allowed to be up on the roof, because up on the roof, the temperatures got to like 130. And I think because of the equipment and maybe the roof was dark, I don't know. But for some reason, the roof got up to like 130. So he was only allowed out there for like 15 minutes at a time. Then he had to come in and be in for quite a long time so his body could completely regulate, get back to 100% to normal before they would let him go back out and work some more. Drove him nuts. He loved the desert. Bless his heart. So like we're in Ventura, and our camping trips weren't like this, but weekends, even during the school year, Saturday morning, sometimes at 4 o'clock in the morning, he would come in and wake me up. And if he woke me up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I knew what he was going to say. He's like, let's go have breakfast in the desert. We would all pile into the pickup, mom and dad up front. I'd be in the back with the Okie camper. It's what we call, we're not talking classy Okie like, say, Reed Drummond Okie, or, the more upscale Okie. No, we're talking the redneck hillbilly Okie that is my family. And so our idea of a camper was we would take a refrigerator box or a dryer box, and it would get stuck in the back of the pickup truck, back in the days before, when people still could ride back there, before the whole seatbelt thing, yeah. So he would cut like these windows that could flap in and out, and so that I could get like a cross breeze, and it was great. I'd sit back in there with all my pillows and sleeping bags and everything. I'd just be all sitting pretty, and I'd be reading all the way, because it was 3 hours or so to the desert. And so we would go, and we would sourdough pancakes over a campfire. Mom's sourdough pancakes aren't like the best. We like thin sourdough pancakes. They're not as thin as crepes, but what we would do is we would water them down a bit, and we'd put them in the skillet, and then you would wait until every single bubble that rose up popped before you flipped it over. And so when you flipped it over, that side finished, browning, but the thing was pretty much cooked at that point, right? It would finish browning, and then you take it off, and you would put the butter, and it would just run down into, oh my goodness. Now I want to make sourdough pancakes. And, I'm just going to point out that, Mom lives here, and she could do this. I made her okra today. She can make me a sourdough pancake, right? So we might have to do this. I'm just saying. Anyway, they were so good. Anyway, this was whatever. But when we went camping, that box would get flattened under the truck. I would sleep in the cab. My parents would sleep in the back, and my dad would go tramping all over the place, grazing, we called it, because he would taste everything he saw. Bless his heart. And then, I had these little, I don't know, they're about this tall dolls. I didn't play much with them at home, but when we went camping, I'd take them, and you have these washes where the water runs through and it, rises up, and you could easily chisel out like these little houses. Those, I think it's in Colorado or New Mexico. Those are the Zuni that build into the rock. They're little like houses, and they created caves and cities, and yeah, I would do that in the wash, right? That was my fun. So for me, August is camping, and there's a point to that, because I was like, I want to earn a sticker, and I want to go camping, and this looks like camping. I mean, tent, right? So I'm like, I want to do this. I wanted to do it. So I created a challenge for myself. I went to lots of work to create a challenge for myself, because I am Shatona and I am weird. Okay, I'm just going to put that out there. So I did this. Now, if anyone wants to do this with me, any of it doesn't have to be all of it. If you want to do this with me, all you got to do, I'm going to put a little form in the description, and tell me, all I'm going to ask you for is which one of these, all you got to do is one, but which one of these did you do? And if you did more, what did you do? Just because I'm going to be curious. I want to know, right? And for as long as those stickers last, I think I have 50 coming. As long as they last, I will send a sticker to anyone who, puts it in there and tells me what they did from this list, right? Because why not? Let's have fun with this. Actually, I have 49, because one of those is mine. I'm earning that sucker. So this is going to be my TBR. And I don't know how I'm going to do it, because as far as I can think of, there's 3 ways it could be done. Because this is like build your own camp experience, okay? And so I figure it could be done that I just choose random books wherever, and then figure out what my camping experience ended up being based upon what I just happened to read, and then I put it in here, which would be fun, and I am seriously considering that option. I could pick a traditional TBR going, well, I want a, I want to do the beach one, or I want to do the s'mores, or I want to do, I'll get to those in a minute. And so I have to find a book to fit that. I could do that, and that's kind of how I normally do things, so I don't think I'm going to do that one, but I might. Or I could just then pick a TBR, a traditional TBR. I could pick one and then figure out what it turns out to be. So, I mean, it's really close to that first one where, I just grant, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I really think that the only books that are going to be on my TBR are the Trollop, the Chantal Reads All Day, which I think is a Jody Headland about Newton and Molly, and then whatever the buzzword readathon thing is. I think that's all I'm going to have on my TBR, and I think I'm just going to just grab books and then figure out if it fits there, and if it doesn't, I got to keep grabbing, because my goal is to have at least one from each thing, although the last one is kind of like a duplicate. We'll see. But that's why I wanted it done this way, because that way if you've got stuff you're doing with lots of people, like there's a couple of that I've been looking at that I might want to do, I can just double them up. And then it's like no big deal. But if I have like prompts and you've got to do this to like fill a board or something, that's going to drive me nuts. So because I am that person that I can't just like have a diagonal on a bingo board and feel like I accomplished it. I want that sucker blacked out. So I did it this way. So what I have is Camp ReadMore. See? And it's a build your own camping experience. Okay. This is going to be so much fun. I can't stand it. Because stickers. All of this, guys, for a sticker, right? Whew. Anywho. So the first thing you have to do is choose where you're going camping. You're going to choose your setting, right? So I chose 4: beach, mountains, desert, or a landmark. So for example, it's over there. Like I just got a new book from Karen Barnett. It's a Redwoods National Park book. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, national parks are landmarks, and therefore that would apply. So I really wanted to read that right away. There's a very good chance that I'm doing landmark for this, but it could be anything, because I don't know. I could have multiple landmarks. We could be like tootling all over the place. I really hope if we're tootling all over the place, then my shelter, because there's several, they have 3 shelter options to choose from. Okay, so the first is a tent. You know, so basically it's a book where characters sleep rough. The Brits would say it that way, and I think it's really cute the way they say that. Or with bare minimum shelter of some sort. Okay, so it could be someone stranded somewhere who they have to make up their own shelter. It could be tent camping where you don't have amenities, etc. So it's sleeping rough. So they sleep rough, whatever. A camper, so it's a book featuring an RV or a road trip. So like, for example, I'm not going to put book suggestions yet. I keep wanting to do it, and I'm not going to. I'm going to go back through these real quick and throw some suggestions in. But first up, we're just going to go through these. Then a cabin or Motel 6. That's my husband's idea of camping, Motel 6. Okay, and he's not a hotel snob. I'm the hotel snob. But if he's going camping, it's Motel 6. And, you know, because there will be bugs that we will have to fight. You know, so that counts. Yeah, bless his heart. It's a book featuring a rustic living or vacationing, but it's not primitive, as in, you know, no bathroom, no electricity. Those things are there, but it's bare bones cabins, you know, just something that is a little rustic. And then boat. If it's not a yacht, that's a water camper. So if it's got a boat in it, it counts. It's a water camper, and we're going for it. So then we're going to choose our weather. All right, because, you know, camping, we got all kinds of weather. Sunny. So all we need is a feel-good, happily ever after read. You know, one of those, you know, from the get-go, from the beginning, this is just a happy read. So, you know, all that. Then rainy, a tearjerker. See, this is why I think I want to do it the other way, because then, like, there have been books that I've read that I didn't expect to choke me up. I have to admit it. I just listened to Christmas on Breaker's Point, which is my book that Krista narrated. And when I got to the end there with Uncle Bud, I don't cry. Sometimes even when actual real tragic things happen in my life. I'm just not a crier. I was ugly sobbing for me. It's the equivalent of most people's normal crying. But for me, this is like ugly sobbing through this whole thing. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? I think the menopause thing is going to make me an emotional person. And I'm going to freak out my family because I don't cry. It terrifies them. Mom's crying. The world is ending. You know, so they're just like, ah. So this is going to be like, we shall see. Anyway, and then Stormy, a book with a lot of drama, such as like a family saga. I've got a suggestion for that one. Or YA, because YA. Anyway, you know, but seriously, you know, lots of drama. Yeah. And then actually, one of my books has, it's like, you know, just a normal story, but at the end there was this one character that went off the rails, and as I'm writing it, I'm like, what is going on here? Because she just went nuts. And I looked back at the beginning and it was there all along, and I didn't even know I was doing it. It was like all subconscious, and it comes out on the page and I'm like, whoa. It was fun. It was fun. Anyway, or Cold. And that would be like a chilling mystery or suspense kind of thing. Double down on the Kimberly Woodhouse for that one. I'm just saying, you know, 26 Below, The Cold. Yeah. Okay, then camping, there's always pests. I mean, you know, let's face it. So we're going to choose our pests. Or we're going to get stuck with pests, depending on how you look at it, right? So, ants. A book that has a picnic, because you need picnic ants for picnics, or it's not a real picnic. If they're not carrying off that fried chicken, it ain't a picnic. No, sorry, just kidding. Mosquitoes. It's a book that has lots of pesky bugs. Or people. And yeah, I've got ideas for that too. Flies, a book that involves air travel. Gotcha. So, because I was like, wait, let's do something a little different. You know, it doesn't all have to be, you know, negative. They're bad enough in real life. We don't need the whole fake camping experience. This is my idea of camping, guys. Books? Oh, yeah. We don't need this whole experience to be negative. So on the pests, these pests, get out of there. I have never seen a fly in an airplane. That doesn't mean that they're never on them, but I have never seen a fly in an airplane. I think that's really cool. So anyway, kind of oxymoronic too. Anyway, and then snakes. Because snakes. Well, our camping experience always included at least one rattler, you know. So for snakes, a book with a deep deception. And this is another reason why I'm thinking that this, you know, I'm just grabbing books whenever I want to read, however and whatever, because if I knew this about this deep deception up front, it kind of is a spoiler. So I don't know if I would even know about it until I read it anyway. So that. And then, you know, you go on a camping trip, you need treats. I mean, I don't know about you, but you got to bribe me to go somehow, some way. So we have treats. Obviously, we need s'mores, right? Because s'mores. So, since s'mores seem to be everybody's favorite, I think I'm the only person on the planet that doesn't like them. I love graham crackers. I love chocolate, and I love toasted marshmallows. I love blackened marshmallows that are just totally ooey inside and charcoal on the outside. That's my favorite. I love all three. I just don't want them all mixed up. Thank you very much. Let me have my chocolate by itself. Let me have it. Yeah, I'm weird. I'm that way with fruit. Don't give me a fruit salad. Just give me the individual pieces. So maybe there's a correlation that I can't possibly fathom. But since they're everybody's favorite, except me, but the ingredients, because ingredients. Okay, here's another question for you. Totally off topic, but it's my video. I love chocolate. I love graham cracker. I love marshmallow. Okay, don't love them in a s'more. Except that we have mud pies for birthday. We're having mud pie tonight for my birthday. It was on Saturday, but you know, this is when everybody could get together. Mud pie, all right? It's graham cracker crust, Jamocha almond ice cream, which is coffee almond ice cream. I hate coffee. Love Jamocha almond. Okay. And then, you know, fudge. So it's like most, and then whipped cream. So it's like most of a s'more, and I love that. But not s'mores. What? I am unable to can. I'm unable to can. Anyway, so so it's a bookish favorite. Since it's favorites, it's just, if it's a favorite genre, trope, title, author, whatever. If it's a favorite, it counts, and it's a s'more because everybody wants s'more of their favorite, right? All right, then hot dogs, because hot dogs. We didn't even like hot dogs when I was a kid, and yet hot dogs and hamburgers always made it on the trip out. Sometimes Dad would, go so far as to have steak, but usually it was hot dogs and hamburgers. And okay, so our hot dogs were like those pork sausage links. that was a hot dog in our family because my dad just doesn't like hot dogs, but still same smell, right? But this is a book with a dog in it. That's it. All it needs is a book with a dog. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Watermelon. Because I don't know about you, but if I'm going camping, I want watermelon. Okay, I want watermelon all the time. I eat an obscene amount of watermelon. All of a sudden I have like this tickle, so I keep drinking. I don't know. Anyway, so for watermelon, something light and refreshing. Something that's just, maybe a palate cleanser. Maybe, short story even. And we'll get to that in a minute. But just something encouraging and sweet and light and, I don't know. I can't think right now. But something like that. And then sunflower seeds. Because I have kids that would not go camping without sunflower. Actually, I have a daughter who would want her dill pickle sunflower seeds. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, they would not want to go without sunflower seeds, even though we never took our kids camping because, again, Motel 6. They went camping at the beach once. Motel 6, because that was literally the only hotel near the beach that we could afford because beach. Anyway, a book with a flower or garden on the cover. Because why not? I'm making this up as I go. And so here we go. So, no, Camp ReadMore. We got it. And then entertainment, because you have to have fun, right? Either like entertainment at the end of a hard day or something that is not hard work. So that's what I went with entertainment. So number one, obviously campfire stories, because you sit around, you tell ghost stories and whatever. So I'm, just throwing out Jimmy Joe. I'm just throwing it out there. Anything in the ghost thriller, horror, whatever vein. Basically, if it's something that somebody would have shrunk down to a 10-minute story around a campfire, it counts. And then singing, because singing, right? Why not? I was so excited. I thought for a minute there that singing would work for me, because this one I'll have, you sing all those, there's a tree in the hole in the ground, and the rain grass, yeah. All those songs, why not? But I was like, so music. There has to be music or dancing, which kind of, if there's dancing, there's going to be music, because, yeah. But still, I was like, I got that Aaron Bartles book, and it's like everything whatever, it's up there. And I was like, yes, I think that's the next one. No, that's September. Drat. So, no Aaron Bartles, unfortunately, but if it's got music, The Lost Melody by, anyway, I'm not supposed to be giving you ideas, so we're just going to wait. Fishing. Okay, you ready for this? Because you get kick back, relax, wait for things to bite. So fishing, a book with something you can catch in it. A ball, a train, an illness, a guy, whatever. If you can catch it, it counts. So something you can catch in it, which if you want to get really technical, pretty much any book is going to fit that one. I want something that's a deliberate part of the plot. So, if you, catch a train, that's, because the train, it's like Murder on the Orient Express. Well, you catch that train to go on this. I could go for that. But someone saying that, they took a train when they were 12 in the middle of a conversation, I wouldn't really count that. for me. But if you want to, you go. It's your thing. You do what you do. Because this is not a moral area. You do you. We're good. And then swimming. So for swimming, I said a book with a water word in the title. If it is a word that relates to water, even out of context. So like, well, it doesn't have to be a water well to count because it's still a water word. So if, you know, It Is Well With My Soul is the name of a book, it still counts, even though that's not the right use of the word well. I don't care. So there's that. Because whatever. So, you know, choose your entertainment. And then based upon what you read, you'll discover the duration. Because what we have here, and I just put this in for fun. This is like the easiest one, seriously, because if you only look at this and you do some you know, readathon or challenge or something for August, all you got to do is look at this duration one, because it'll tell you what you got. Because overnight is a short story, a weekend is a novella, a week is a novel, 2 or more weeks, a tome. You know, a book with, you know, just like a brick. And I did this for, again, I'm doing this whole thing. I created this whole thing for me. And then I was like, well, this is not going to mean anything to anyone else. But then I was like, hey, if they want a sticker, they can just look at those and count one of their books and boom, it's done. But, you know, if anyone else wants to have fun with me, I have this. I have all the prompts in the description, but I also have this thing that can be printed and little check marks and all the fun stuffness, in a link to it in the description. But yeah, so book ideas, I'm going to throw a bunch out. I don't know if I'll have time to put pictures up or not. I hope I do. But, so yeah. Beach. There's lots of beach books. There's the entire Independence and Swimming in the Islands series. I'm one of the authors in them, but there are a lot of authors in those. Obviously, lots of beach reads. Amanda Cox has Between the Sound and Sea. That's coming out any day now. Mine is on the way, I think. I found out it's on the way. That one sounds so good. We just talked. The episode just came out Tuesday. And it sounds so good. I'm just like dying to read this book. So there's obviously that one. Mountains. Ashlyn Michaela Holm with her, I think it's like Climbing Higher series or something. It's a 3-book romantic women's trilogy. Yeah, there's that one. There's lots of books in the mountains. I have Highlands. My book Highlands takes place in the mountain. It's a little different. It's like contemporary fantasy. Guy wakes up. He's in the mountains. He doesn't know how he got there, and he can't leave. That's all you get. Desert. I wonder about that book that Chantal keeps mentioning, in like the post-apocalyptic or the dystopian Texas. Is it like desert part of Texas? Does that count? I know Dana Mentink has several Death Valley love-inspired suspense. That would work. I'm trying to think of what other desert books. I think Gray Fox by Michael Phillips takes place partly in the desert. And Rebecca Jones. She has the Lost Dutchman's Secret or something like that. All of a sudden I can't remember. And the Ever After Mysteries takes place in the Superstition Mountains, Apache Junction, Arizona. It doesn't get much more deserty than that. So, you know, there's desert. And then obviously a landmark. Now, Karen Barnett has that new book out. It is Where Trees Touch the Sky. That one takes place in the Redwoods of California. She has When Stone Wings Fly that takes place in the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Smoky, whatever. I can't remember which national park that is. But that one over there, I think it's the Great Smoky Mountain National Park or something like that. That book was so good. But she also has like 1920s mysteries. There's 3 of them. There's one that takes place in Yellowstone, and one that takes place up in Washington or Oregon, and one that took place in Yosemite. So those were lots of fun. I really enjoyed those. So there's those. And then a tent. If you're looking for something with a tent and you like rom-com, Becca Kinzer's Love in Tandem, they go on like, I don't know, like 500-mile bike ride to try to win this money so that her school will stay open and he can get some money and life is grand. And they have to sleep in a tent. And then at one point, they don't even have a tent because it's gone. So there was that one. Camper, Junebug by Chris Fabry. That has a camper. The Road Between Us. No. The Road Before Us. Janine Roche. I just read it and now I can't read. It's the Route 66 book. That one was really good. Melody Carlson has one called Happy Camper. So, you know. And then Dan Walsh has one that takes place in a camper. And then like a Cabin Motel 6. Technically you could read Amish, although it's not really cabin-y. There is no electricity. I think there's indoor plumbing, but there's no electricity. So it's like still kind of half and half maybe-ish. Oh, Amy Anguish on the camper. That she has some road trip friends that they're like rom-coms. So just throwing that out there. But then, so obviously, I mean, technically you could stretch Amish to that. My past forward, she chooses to live without electricity most of the time. So, I mean, she will turn it on if she needs it, but she actually turns it off at the breaker and lives without it. So, reasons. There is that option. A Boat, A Love Overboard was hilarious by Shannon Sue Dunlap. Oh, Camper. Also, Murder Goes Glamping or something like that by Melissa Chapin. And she has a new book coming out. I'm really excited. She said she was going to send it to me. I'm like, so yeah, Murder Goes Glamping. But then Boat, there was that one. There are boats in the Independence Island series. My Benjamin in my books runs he's a fisherman, so he's got his boat, obviously, and he's in not so much the Christmas on Breaker's Point, but the rest of them, he's in there, and most of them mention his boat at some point anyway. And there's water taxis all over the place. Also, there's a ferry that shows up in pretty much everybody's book, so that would count too. But then there's Something About the First Mate by Tabitha Bolden. Anyway, that book was funny, and it's got like a pirate theme or whatever. And so obviously any pirate books. Doesn't Mary Lou Tyndall do a lot of pirate books? I have a pirate book. So, you know. But there's those. And then Weather, Sunny. I mean, there's Pollyanna. I'm just saying. Tearjerker. Mrs. Kipp definitely had moments. And like I said, I was sobbing at Christmas on Breaker's Point. I mean, you know, going into it from like the beginning that Uncle Bud is going to die. That's why she's going to be with him. So, you know, Uncle Bud's probably my all-time favorite character I've ever written. So, you know, it's kind of hard to say goodbye. But I'm trying to think, what other books are tearjerkers? So, Stormy, a lot of drama, such as family, saga, or angsty YA. So obviously, like, yeah, a lot of YA tends to get pretty angsty, especially, I feel like general market is more angsty even than Christian YA, which I think is kind of interesting, and I'm not sure why, but it is, in my experience. Anyway, maybe I am not reading the right, or maybe I am reading the right Christian YA, because I haven't found a lot of the heavy angstiness, which I appreciate. But the Gardens of Eden, EDIN, GARDINS, the Gardens of Eden, which I will be talking about in my book haul. I've got a massive book haul video. That book definitely has family drama. Also, All My Secrets, I think it is, by Lynn Austin. I think it's All My Secrets, but it's by Lynn Austin. That book definitely has some family drama in it. Also, Amanda Cabot, if you like Western, her Secrets of Sweetwater County. That there's quite a bit of secret and drama going on in there. And there's a lot of drama in the Trollope books. They almost feel like the kind of soap opera that I would watch if they actually existed. If they had all those as a series, it would be somewhat of a soap opera because there's a lot of drama in them, but most of it is rather believable. So that's where the soap opera part fails. And then let's see, what do we have? Cold, a chilling mystery. So pretty much any mystery with some unsettling moments. So obviously that 26 Below or by Kimberly Woodhouse, that would definitely fit. Nancy Mell has an entire series that has cold in the title, and I'm thinking that would work. Also, and I mean, there don't have to be a cold situation, obviously. It just needs to be chilling and a little nerve-wracking. So Jamie Jo Wright would definitely count. And what was that? Oh, Captured in Frame by Laura Thomas. That had a lot of moments that I just went, eee! So there, that one, yeah. So there's those. Pests, Ants, A Book with a Picnic. I cannot think of a single book with a picnic outside of Anne of Green Gables and the Sunday School Picnic. It's the only one I can think of. I can't think of a picnic. But yeah, there's that. Because that, pretty sure a lot of Amish books have picnics. Why do I think that? Maybe it's Prairie. One of those bonnet books. Anyway, Mosquitoes, a book where there are lots of pesky bugs or people. So, not sure about lots of pesky people. I don't know about that one, but lots of pesky bugs. I can definitely say that Trustfall, which is romantic Christian suspense, little low on the romantic side, takes place in the Swimming Islands, and we're talking curtains of centipedes. That's all I'm saying. So there's that. I can't think of other things with bugs. It's just not coming to me, but I did think of that. Flies, a book that involves air travel. Lindsay Harrell. So The Heart Between Us. This gal had a heart condition and received a donor heart, and finds out that the donor had a bucket list of things she wanted to do. So she goes on a trip kind of around the world to fulfill this gal's bucket list. And it was such a good book. So good. So good. So there's that. And then Snakes, a book with deep deception. I can't, it's not that I can't think of one. I can't think of one I'm willing to mention because it would be a spoiler. So I'm not even going to try. And then Treats, bookish favorite, title trope, whatever. I think that is so personal that I'm not even going to throw out suggestions. But, yeah. I'm not even going to throw them out there. Hot Dogs, a book with dogs in it. Janice Thompson, I think it is, has a series of mysteries with dogs in it. And maybe sports. Might be both. And Heather Day Gilbert. Heather Day Gilbert has a new mystery out. And Christy Barrett has one coming. I don't know when. She just announced that it's coming, though. But Heather Day Gilbert has one, The Queen of Hearts, or something about Queen of Hearts. And it looks chilling. So I'm going to throw that out there while I'm thinking about it. But book with dogs in it. There's those mysteries by Janet. I think it's Janice Thompson. But also Heather Day Gilbert has her Barks and Beans mystery series. It obviously has dogs in it. I think it's like a dog coffee shop or something like that, but whatever. But there's mysteries. So there's that. Watermelon, something light and refreshing. You know, a rom-com is usually light and refreshing. Not always, but usually. I think Pepper Basham's Skymar series, the Penelope, Izzy, and Luke. Those are a little more on the light side than some books. I will say that Melody Carlson tends to have quite a few lighter. Not all of her books are lighter, but she does have quite a few lighter books if you're looking for something a little lighter. The You Are on the Air series, it's 26 books, one for each letter of the alphabet. A lot of those are light, but not all of them. Like Dial R for Radio is a little edgy in all the best ways. I mean, I thought I was going to hate it, and that book turned out to have so much depth and so much richness, and I was like totally impressed. But then like my books in there are total fluff. So, and a lot of what is in there is total fluff, but not all of it. There's a lot of other, great stuff in there. There's some with some really depth, but that won't do this prompt. So, and then, Jen Toronto, hers tends to have some of her stuff has a little more depth to it, but they tend to be light and funny. So, but anyway, so there's that. And then Sunflower Seeds, a book with flower or garden on the cover. There are so many. So many. I'm not even going to attempt to. But, I just thought about it. I could do my Magical Secret Garden. I haven't read any of those yet. Those definitely have flowers and a garden on the cover. That could be fun. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, and then entertainment. So, campfire stories. Something in the ghost thriller horror. Yes, because yes. So like The Woman in Black by Susan Hill is short. It's a novella, short story or novella, depending. I'm not sure which end of the spectrum. It's between those anyway. But it is definitely creepy. And if I recall correctly, I don't remember any language in it, but don't quote me on that. And there was no anything else inappropriate in it. It was just rather chilling. Obviously, Jamie Doe Wright is generally chilling. But I do have a book. So I have The Ghost of New Cheltenham. There are no ghosts in that book. I didn't write actual ghosts. But what I did do is in this ghost, so we have a guy in this one who is he's plasmophobic. So he is afraid of ghosts. He has an irrational fear of ghosts, and he knows that this is not a thing, but it doesn't matter because deep-seated problems he hasn't dealt with yet, right? So he's going to inherit this store in New Cheltenham, which is a really nice tourist place to have a store. And he's broke, so he's like all excited. But to inherit, he has to tell a ghost story in the Christmas ghost storytelling contest. During Dickens' era, even before that, ghost stories on Christmas Eve were a thing. Dickens revived it. He didn't create it. He actually revived it. So this town is very English-esque in the Midwest, and so they have this storytelling contest, and he doesn't have to win. He just has to participate. And it was kind of his way that this man that left him everything was trying to help him work through his problems, right? Well, I took the story that he tells in that contest. I wrote the story he tells, and I don't really have the story, only bits and pieces of it. I don't really have the story in the book because that would become a sermon in my mind. I don't have it in there, but what I do have is I wrote the story and I gave it away as a bonus for pre-orderers, and now it is up on Kindle Unlimited. And so it is the short story he tells, and what it is, it's kind of a ghost version, and not nearly as clever because I am no Lewis, but it's kind of a ghost version of Screwtape Letters. It's a kind of a similar kind of thing, tailored to who this character is. And yeah, it's a lot of fun, but it's a short story. It's not super long, so I'm just throwing that out there. And no, I'm not throwing it out there to try to, get a boatload of money out of people, because I make pretty much nothing on page reads for a very short story. But that's okay. That's not why I put it up there. But that would be one way. I'm just saying. Also, what do we have here? We got campfire stories, singing, books about music or dancing. So there's that one, Aaron Bartles, Everything, some 90s music scene. There's that. There's a Lost Melody. So it's something about home. I'll put a picture up here, but Milla Holt just released a book about a musician who, years ago, when he found out his world was coming to an end, everything was just falling apart for him, he made a terrible decision and fathered a child from a one-night stand and just found out about that. And so he's having to deal with all the fallout, but there's obviously, it's all surrounded by music. So I'm just saying, there's that one. And then Fishing, a book with something you can catch in it, a ball, a train, an illness, a gun. So what was it, the lost year? You know, it was during COVID, so there's definitely you can definitely catch something like that. A book with tuberculosis in it would be one. So like Keeper of the Bees by Jean Stratton Porter, and then maybe When the Meadow Blooms by Anne Gabhart. There's tuberculosis in that one. I mean, there's lots of things, you know, cancer stories. I mean, like Christmas on Breaker's Point. Uncle Bud's dying of colon cancer. So, you know, I mean, there's lots of books with something you can catch illness-wise. You can definitely catch a plane, a train, a boat. You can catch a dog, you know, Road Trip Rescue. They're going to find that dog and they're out to catch that dog. Technically, I would say that counts. So, you know, there's that. And then Swimming, a book with a water word in the title. Between the Sound and Sea is one. The Sound of Light by Sarah Sundin, which is a World War II, which Between the Sound and Sea also has World War II-esque stuff in it. I don't know if it's split time or not. I don't remember, but I do remember that World War II is involved in it anyway. But because it's like Outer Banks, North Carolina, right? The Sound of Light by Sarah Sundin deals with sound as relates to the sea as opposed to audible. And so there's that. Whose Waves These Are by Amanda Dykes. Erin Bartels has The Girl Who Could Breathe Underwater. Troubled Waters by Renee Gutteridge. But it could be River. No, that's Marshall Wright. Grace Like a River Flows. So, yeah. We're just going to go with that. The duration, that doesn't count. So, this is my TBR video. Okay, so these are the books I'm going to read, plus one more that I thought I had, and I don't. So, I may be changing my buzzword. This month, for August, it's like. If I can find a book that I own with the word like in the title, I'm going to take it. And I'll do that instead. Otherwise, I'll be doing Like Flames in the Night by Connellan Cassette. I think that's the name. This Like Flames in the Night is book 4. So it'll probably be something like that. I have the next Palliser novel, Phineas Finn. So I'll be reading this one. Lots of pages in this thing. 555. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm going to find out who Phineas Finn is and what we know. And then my Chantal Reads All Day. I don't remember the prompt. All I know is that I chose this book for it. So I think it had to have something about water on the cover. But it's Newton and Polly. It's about John Newton, who was a slave trader, and he became saved, and he wrote the song Amazing Grace, and this is about him and his wife. So she wrote the one about Luther and Katharina, which, if I recall correctly, I didn't love. Oh, Shalise left me a cute note in it. This is one of the books she got me for my birthday last year. She found it in an antique shop in Missouri. So yeah, but these will be next month's books that I will read, as well as the other one, and then everything else that I can find for this. What are you doing in August? Have you decided yet? I do plan to play with quite a few of, whatever little reedy things are going on. I'm going to play with them, but we shall see. And I sure hope that I can edit this down, because right now we're looking at an hour and I'm like, I got to cut. So we'll see how much. It was a little over an hour by the time I came back from getting these. And we'll see how long I get to cut it down to. But yeah, this is my reading stack. This just has a lot in it. Yeah. So, Camp ReadMore. It's going to be fun. I'm so excited. I had so much fun with my book haul TBR that I wanted to do something again. I mean, Jane Austen July was decided for me, but now I'm set. I'm doing this thing. So yeah, these are my reads for August. I can't wait.